Hello everybody. What time is it? I guess it's like evening now, even though it doesn't look like it. So I hope y'all are having a good evening if you're experiencing an evening right now. But I hope all of you are doing safe and well. So I wanted to send you this message because it's really been calling out to me these past few days. And so I'm going down a hill, so the video is probably going to be a little aggressive in the shaking, so my apologies for that, but I'm not going to stop, so sorry. But yeah, I want to let you know that you need yourself. You need yourself more than you need others, more than you needing to need others to accept you. This on my eye. To accept you, to love you, to give you the green light, to go after what you want, to speak your own truth. And a lot of people, oh look, there's a butterfly. Oh wait, no, you can't see. All I can see is me. You know, a lot of people think that, oh yeah, I know what I want. I know who I am. But a lot of times that ends up not being the case. Especially if you ever have this feeling when you go through life, like things are not clicking, things are not making sense. Something is missing. You know, the friends, the family, the partner, just something about that is not sitting right with you. Or it could be something else, like you're just feeling empty with your life, empty with the things that you're doing. I'm gonna sit here. Hold on. A lot of times, at least from my experience, being someone who used to be suicidal, who used to be just immersed in trauma and pain, and people who just weren't right for me, trying to act in ways that I would be accepted into groups, accepted into families, accepted into what other people thought of me, and also trying to prove people wrong by kind of trying to prove to them like, hey, I'm not who you say that I am. Something that I've always struggled with. Well, first off, I want to say that I have a gift, and I haven't started saying that till now. Because I've always been kind of ashamed or like gross about it, like why, who the fuck am I to say that I have a gift, you know? And I would just kind of doubt myself a lot and question myself, thinking like, you know, I don't want to be those people on TV that are just seen as crazy, you know. And also the times that I've showed my gifts to people and people have used it against me, creating lies about me, saying that I work for the devil. I'm making shit up, or also just using my gifts to help people and seeing the fear in their eyes, seeing that like like they felt unsettled by the things that I was able to see. And the gifts that I have is having like a pre-notion, or being able to see things before they happen. Also, when I was a little girl, I used to see ghosts a lot. I used to experience a lot of paranormal activity. And also just somehow like the universe like is able to communicate with me through like symbols, or just, I don't know, events, and I'm just able to connect the dots and kind of figure out, okay, what the, that's a sign for me to kind of let go of this person. That's a sign of me that I'm avoiding something. An example of that is these past few days, just I've been seeing a lot of movies and shows about characters who, people don't believe in them, and they get told who they are, who they aren't. And something about that resonated with me, but also unsettled me. And so that was kind of my sign, like I need to explore that. There's something about that just keeps coming up. And I need to tap into that. All my life I've felt really ashamed and guilty for just having this gift, being someone who seeks the truth, being someone who is able to heal myself, able to find ways to heal others if they are accepting of it, because because of that I've lost a lot of people. I've left a lot of people. I left a lot of friendships, left a lot of partnerships, left people. And this isn't me saying like, oh, I fucking loved it. For me, I love people, and personally, I feel like I don't need to know you to love you. The fact that you're already just here on earth, that's enough reason for me to love you. And you might say, yeah, well, what about the people who are, let's say pedos, people who murder other people? Just because I love someone doesn't mean that I accept, or I love the fact that, they're out there hurting others, they're out there hurting themselves, they're out there going out of their way to kind of manipulate others, to manipulate, to get what they want. I don't fucking like that, and that's why, I've left a lot of people, is because I'm always looking to grow, to find the truth, and that can be, oh, a black cat with like white feet. Sorry, I got distracted. I don't like leaving people, which is why in the past I used to give people, especially people I used to date, so many chances. Because I love people. I want you to grow with me. I don't want to have to fucking leave you. But, and also being able to see people's motives 10 steps ahead, that's another thing of why I've chose to distance myself from people, seeing secret jealousy, or just they somehow felt threatened by me, and because of that, You know, they want to talk shit about me, they want to lie on my name. And I want to say that I'm crazy, I want to say I'm making this up. And that's also another problem is, you know, when you start to see little glimpses, little glimmers of yourself, and you know deep down that resonates with you, but there's this other side of you, the ego. The ego wants to be accepted. The ego wants validation from others. The ego fears being alone. The ego fears being socially left out. You know, so there's, you know, all my life, there's been this part of me that has tried gaslighting me, that has, you know, just being my own worst enemy, trying to lie to myself, saying like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, like, why would you leave these people? You know, you have problems too. And the more that I've listened to that, the more I've kind of pushed down the person I've always wanted to see myself to be. You know, I used to be suicidal, like I didn't want to fucking live here. I didn't see any confidence within myself. I didn't think I deserved to be here. You know, and I was trying to choke out my own self, my own life. And I'm not gonna say, I mean, maybe just not today, I'm not gonna say how the ways that I've tried, but I felt like I didn't deserve to just really be myself, to even be alive, to experience happiness, to experience peace, to experience truth. So you know, but at the same time, there's just something, you know, who I am. I know that I seek the truth. This is how I know now. Because ever since, you know, me being a little girl, like 13, or just, I don't know how long. I know I started my spiritual journey when I was 13 or 14. But I know I've always been someone that was curious. I would always question everything, especially question why would people act that certain way? Why, you know, why do I act this way? And then, you know, soon enough I got into psychology. I've started learning about like how my family is dysfunctional their own way, and how I became dysfunctional my own way. And there was other people that I see that were like really happy and talk positively, and something about them just like, I want to get there. I want to see what it takes to get there. Not saying that there weren't times where I wanted to give up. There's a lot of times where I was just throwing the towel, be like, fuck this, like I'm out, you know. Or I give up on trying. I give up on trying to heal, being a good person, you know, especially for myself. And like I said, you know, I love people. I want, you know, all the growth that I went through, what I found for myself, I want that for you. I want that for everybody. And so for so many years I would try to drag people, you know, and partially because of that I became kind of toxic a little, because I would kind of be controlling, or just very like emotionally depend on them. Like, you know, I need you to get your shit together in order for me to be okay. You know, which I love that part of myself that I I want everyone to be okay. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to experience the love that I found for myself. But you see there, for myself. I said for myself. And there was a certain point in time I realized that I can't drag them through my experience and make them see. The only reason why I'm here today is because what I did for myself. And you know, a lot of people will talk about you know, I believe in God and or this spiritual power. They're the ones that get me through. And it's like, yes, you know, they do in a way. You know, and I don't mind diving into believing it or not believing it. Like, I can see both sides, but I'm gonna talk about it in like a spiritual way, like in more God sense kind of way, because I know that's a lot of people believe in God. You know, a lot of people say, you know, it wasn't me, it was God. It's like, you know how many stories, you know how many people that God, the universe told them in so many different ways, like, hey, if you want this, you got to go through here. You know there's something wrong with this person. This person is holding you back. Like, sending all these little clues. Basically, God is basically kind of like the friend who is warning another friend about the person that they're dating. They see all the red flags, and deep down that person who is dating that other person sees red flags but chooses to ignore it. So it's really up to you. And that takes a lot of strength, that takes a lot of courage, and it is scary. It is fucking scary to step into the unknown, leave people, leave jobs, leave towns, leave parts of yourself that you were comfortable with, even though it was chaotic, even though it was fucking shitty, but you knew every fucking corner. And sorry, I say fuck a lot, but it's soothing. This is the way I love to express myself, so here we go. Fuck. So yeah, and then, you know, that's the part of unconditional love, which I think this would better explain why I love people and how I end up really loving people. You know, throughout my journey, finding my own self, finding my own truth, is that as much as I love people, I can't force them. I can't force them to see what I see. I can't force them to do what I think is best for them. You know, they're on their own journey. They need to face it alone. And I know that's fucking scary, especially for those of you who've experienced being in family situations, experienced friends. You see how they're gonna end up. You see the addictions, the bad habits, the people they surround themselves with, and it's killing them. You see them physically being drained by this, or even the habits they put towards themselves. You see how that's destroying them. You know, you send them all the warnings, you send them, you know, you put out your tears, your emotions, you put out your anger, you put out your numbness in hopes like, hey, they're suddenly not showing signs of emotional expression like they used to. I need to see what's wrong. You want to find some sort of way to, kind of like the silent treatment, you know, you being silent, you know, if you're going the petty way in hopes like that person will react and be like, hey, you know, what's wrong, you know, give them the they give you the attention that you want, you know. Hello. Hi. There's a cute dog. Bye. Your dog is cute. Bye. Hi. Hold on. Sorry, I had to pet this dog. The dog was so cute, and the owner was so nice. Where was I? From what I remembered, you know, you can't you can't like forcefully guide people. You know, that's how that did not work for me. And I'm sure there's people in my life where they gave me advice, but it didn't click to my head. But the only time where, I'm assuming some of it did based on remembering it, pretty sure there's some that I forgot probably. But I did that because I wanted to seek the truth. I wanted it. Even if it was fucking uncomfortable, even if it tore me the fuck apart. And some of you may be like, tore the fuck apart? You're still here? Like, what do you mean? Your skin's intact? No, I mean, when you choose to leave everything that's pushing your true self down, it would, especially if you identified with trauma like I used to, it will tear you the fuck apart. You know, you will feel so just like alien. Like you, it's a crazy experience, and it may not, you know, so some of you may not understand it just yet, but I mean, if you've gone through that journey, you know it's a fucking trip. And you know, I'm saying this, you know, me becoming my true self, this is not me saying right now like, oh yeah, I got it all together, I know what my answers are all the time, splickety split. I know what to do. You know, there's times where you'll forget, because we're in this world where we live a lot of times in our ego. We live to please others. We live to feed off the emotions. And I'm not saying emotions are all bad, but it can get to the certain point where you feed off your anger, you feed off that pain, you feed it in a way where you start to self-destruct, you start to hurt others, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, all sorts of ways. You know, because why? Sorry, I'm like getting all these messages, but you know why? Is because we're trying to protect ourselves. Because in some point in time, several events or just one event, there was something that happened to you that made you close up, that made you, you know, start to hide your true self, you know, not speak up for yourself, not try to aim high for yourself because of people trying to drag you down, you know, your own thoughts trying to drag you down. But I promise you, I fucking promise you that if you choose to keep going, if you choose to chase your own truth, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter, you know, how people might react, you know, I promise you, this is how you find yourself. This is how you feel complete. And when I say, you know, you don't need anyone but yourself, this isn't me saying like, leave everybody if, you know, if it's not needed. Like, leave everybody, you know, fuck everyone. I'm not saying that, okay? I'm saying that in order to feel whole within yourself, you don't need validation from others. You don't need their approval for you to go after what you really want, for you to be who you really need to be for yourself. And that might take a few tries. You know, there's times where I thought, okay, this is who I really am, but nope, it's like I had to do a U-turn, or there was a secret road. I'm like, oh, holy shit, how far does this go? You know, there'll be times where you think, okay, this is it, this is the end, this is where I know who I really am, but it will kind of always change gradually throughout time. in a way. I mean, when it comes to my own experience, there's one thing that's always been true, and like I said, is I've always been someone that seeks the truth. I've always been someone that has wanted to heal others, has always wanted to heal myself. And through healing myself, through finding my own truth, you know, I've been able to help others who really want the help. And that's the thing. Let's go back to unconditional love is I can energetically, and sometimes verbally, emotionally, depends who I'm around and how that is expressed. I can unconditionally give my love, but at the same time, you are the main source for that love. And if there's situations that are depleting you, draining you, taking more than what they are giving back to you, then, you gotta learn, okay, probably the best thing is to distance myself. Not saying that this river of love for them will ever stop, but I'm definitely going to kind of put up boundaries, so they won't have access to me that easily. Doesn't mean that, like I said, it doesn't mean that it stopped. Hello. Doesn't mean that it stopped, but I don't know. I want to put into an analogy, but I can't think of one. So maybe, I don't know, maybe in the future I'll be able to really put that in an analogy or like a metaphor or something. Yeah, I'll never stop. And sorry, I'm kind of repeating myself because I get distracted by so many things, and yeah, sometimes I feel like I need to repeat myself. But you especially need to have that unconditional love for yourself, which, with also boundaries, because there's parts of you, especially the ego parts of you, that want to come back, that want to accept people back that aren't good for you, accept certain habits that, that take away from who you really need to be for yourself. And, I think in some ways our ego is good, because, we're out here, we need to survive. But sometimes our ego gets to that point where it goes on overdrive, and it will do whatever it takes to survive. It will do whatever it takes to survive, especially the social hierarchy, or like the social competition, the social pyramid, where so many people are trying to be popular, so many people are trying to be like the best in their family member group. Trying to be the most sexiest, within like a group of girls, or maybe a certain age range. So many different ways we try to be competitive. And I'm trying to learn how to love my ego, because sometimes I'm like, I'm fucking tired of you, bro. Like, I'm really trying to grow here. But you deserve your true love, and that true love really comes from you. And I know it's scary, but you gotta take that effort. You gotta take that first step to really kind of tear off your masks, tear off the layers you put on yourself to protect yourself, in this relationship, in that relationship, in this environment. Because if you really want to thrive, if you really want to experience happiness, you really want to experience being full and whole with yourself, you really, it starts with you. It's in you. And don't worry, I I remember when I was like starting to get out of it, I would be kind of very hard on myself and kind of be like, no, I have to figure this shit out. Like, I have to think 24/7. try to figure out what this means and how in some way that deeply affects me. And in some ways I wish I can kind of go back and be like, no girl, you didn't have to be that hard on yourself. Like, as long as you're following your truth, it doesn't matter how long it takes, as long as you keep going, you don't give up. But then at the same time, I like that part of myself. I like that I can kind of just break myself open, even forcefully at times, you know, because I really want to get to the answer. I really want to get to the nitty-gritty of things. But sometimes you don't need to try harder. I've seen a quote that says sometimes you don't need to try harder, you need to try softer. So I feel like I'm in that point in time where I'm trying to learn how to be softer. You know, yes, you'll find your answers, you'll find more of yourself, but do it softer. You don't need to be aggressive with yourself. You don't need to be beating yourself up. So yeah, like I said, you need yourself more than anyone, and I hope, you know, you feel the love that I feel for you, the love that I want for you to have. But then again, you know, your love will probably be, your true love will probably be way different than how I see it for you. But still, sending you love. I hope you feel it, you know, in this video. I hope you feel it in the stars that shine for you. Hope you feel it in your body. Your body still waking you up. Your body still healing you. Your body still letting you know, hey, you're hungry. Hey, you're stressed. You know, despite the way you may be treating it, or how the way you're looking at yourself. So I hope you find yourself. Or if you're kind of on your way there, I hope you keep going. And I believe in you guys. So yeah, much love. I know this video is really long, but I really needed to get that out. Sorry for all the distractions. I had to pet that dog. That dog was so cute, and the guy, he looks so nice. so yeah, much love to all you guys. Comment down below if you want to. I would love to hear what thoughts you guys have. And thank you for listening. Bye. Peace. Yeah.